You're watching Pitch2Production, the show where we take a random idea and turn it into a film, all within a month. Now, without further ado, lights, camera, action.
Hey, welcome back. All right, so it's been a while, y'all. It's been 3 weeks. Yeah, 3 weeks. What's going on with you? What's good with you? Like, life changed a bit. You know, I'm a father now. So, you know, like, I paid my mortgage for the first time. It was nice. No, I'm just kidding. I am a father now. Yeah, I'm expecting in like 3 months. So, yeah, but what actually happened is that we're working on a short film, or I should say I am now, and I'm going to pitch it to you guys. So welcome to Pitch2Production, the show where we turn an idea into a film. And this time, it's another dog year where I actually started working on it before telling you guys about it. I'm super excited to tell you guys about it. So this time, if we're going by genre, tone, and gimmick, this time it's psychological drama, gimmick is one room only, and tone is, well, dramatic, right? It's a drama, but it has hints of just melodrama in it. So now I'm going to talk about how I went about making a drama and how to make sure that it didn't lean into melodrama and pitch, right? Next, we're going to talk about the script. By the way, 14 pages of script. So, and then I'm going to talk about, on the third week, how I went about designing the set and getting the actors in shape, which that's going to be an exciting week because there's a lot to talk about. In fact, I already bought props for that. If I see the beast real quick, yeah, I bought props for that. By the way, movie makers, if you're going to make props, Salvation Army Goodwill. Everything is like $5, $3, $1. It is great. I'm getting this clock. I can't lift it up because it's supported by the book, but this clock right here, daddy over here, $5, probably would be like $40 if I bought it in like the 1980s or something. This cup right here, very important, $2. It's great. It's just a great source to find props and set pieces. So now let's talk about the treatment of this. Now you're talking psychological drama. What do I mean by that? Am I going to trip somebody out? Am I going to make somebody scared? Am I going to, do the whole Jordan Peele treatment? Get Out, Us, like those movies. Not so much as Nope, but great director. Yes and no. So with the short film I'm working on called Ginseng, one word only so you know it's dramatic. Ginseng, I'm featuring a story that's like just one room only, and 7 desperate insomniacs have to decide who deserves salvation. A single cup of ginseng tea, hence the title. But the trick with this is that I didn't want to go with a story where it's about all these people being selfish, like, no, I want it, no, I want it, no, I want it, because I feel there's so many stories about the selfishness of humanity, and obviously humans can be selfish, but humans can also be selfless. So I wanted to focus on that. So instead, it's a reversal of the normal archetype where it's everybody's a good person. It's like, no, you should have it, you should have it, you should have it. So the second line of the log line, which I discussed last week, is how you can get directors or actors or sponsors interested in doing your film. The second line of the log line is they're all good and honest people that don't want to hurt anyone, but someone has to survive. And you can see that on the actual screen. If I can see my computer screen, please. Yeah, so I wanted to focus on the good of people because this angle I'm trying to hit is that when everybody is good and selfless, does anything really get done? You know what I mean? Because it's a constant push of like, you should have it, you should have it, you should have it, and nobody's selfish enough to take that leap, except one. Now, let's talk about how I wanted to make the characters, because yes, I did that too. And you probably heard my little ding dong ringtone, so I'll turn that down now. But yeah, so I'm not going to say everything about the characters because I want you guys, when you see this film, yes, we are actually shooting this film, so we're going to be 2 for 2, or actually 2 for 4, because I didn't shoot Parrot Fever. Sorry about that, but maybe one day. But when I actually shoot this, I want you guys to just truly experience this. Hopefully it's good, because if I'm talking it up and it's not good, then that's, so yeah. So the 7 characters that I'm working with their names are, and if possible, can I see that screen share? If not, don't worry about it, because I talk very fast and very clear, hopefully. So Their names are Ginger, Isa, Nat, Salone, Ezra, North, and Greer. Now you're probably thinking, wow, that's a big cast. 7 people, 7 actors. And yes, I did do a casting call. I did a whole casting call for this, y'all. It was crazy. I was posting everywhere and it was getting taken down, so I had to keep posting. It was like I was fighting the man. And I was like, man, I didn't know filmmaking was this hard. Yeah, it's hard, but it's fun, you know? So yeah, I put up a casting call and I can show you guys what that looked like in a second if I can. And yeah, we can show that in a second after commercial break. But yeah, so basically a casting call, for those who are not in the loop, is a call for casting. It calls actors that are, you know, doing their daily lives and you want to, you know, put on a piece of paper, casting call, so that they know. And what you do is that you put your log line, you put your genre, you put the date you plan to shoot and the date of the audition so that they know where to go, the address of the audition, of course, and then you also put the characters. So for the characters, you want to do simple like lines, like one line type descriptions so that they understand the character. For example, let's use Ginger. Actually, let's use Isa, right? So Isa is a strong-willed character that tries to keep everybody in a humane path. They're like, no, don't do that because we're going to become monsters if we do that. No. They kind of like babysit them in a way. And they're deeply, and you'll see in their actual film, they're deeply like, maybe not a deeply complex, but they are a complex character. But how can I convey that in one sentence? You know, how can you convey it just like a one sentence description of a character that can be dissected for some time? And the answer to that is highlight their most interesting traits, because again, you're trying to get actors interested. You shouldn't probably be like, you know, boring everyday guy. Like if you are trying to cast a character that is an average day guy, maybe you put like, off the top of my head, probably like a guy that has to roll with the punches because there's no other way to survive, right? That adds a little more tone to it, like a realistic sad tone that would interest actors rather than your average Joe, right? So yeah, you want to advertise for a casting call, but I can get more into that during the actual production time, but right now we're talking about pitch. So going back, I want to talk about how I made these characters, all 7 of these characters, and why I decided to go 7. So I guess I should answer why I decided to go 7 first, and that is because I guess my mind took a leap where I saw 7, I was like, okay, 7 sins. Boom, easy, and it's a story that could be potentially seen as human greed, or not human greed, but just human selfishness, right? So the 7 sins seems logical, but then I went to that angle where I was like, no, but I don't want to tell a selfish story. I want to tell a hopelessly selfless story. So what's the opposite of the 7 sins? And that is the 7 virtues. Didn't know that was a thing? It is the 7 heavenly virtues, and each of them are reversed. So you have your sins, which are, you know, lust, greed, gluttony, sloth, wrath, pride, and envy, right? But reversed, like let's use gluttony, which you can't stop eating and you're ruining everybody else around you because you're eating so much. Gluttony reverse is temperance, which is the practice of, how do I say, self-restraint. You know, you're fighting your urges constantly on a day-to-day basis. I use that then in order to convey Isa, who is temperance, as a character. There is tea in front of them and it can help them sleep. And these people haven't slept in like a week, maybe even longer. They're dying of sleep deprivation. But Isa serves as kind of a sentinel or a martyr, where they choose not to drink the tea for the salvation of others. And you see that in different characters. I won't get too deep into it, because again, psychological drama. Where would I be in the psychological aspect if you guys knew everything, right? So yeah, that's one layer to these characters, which is virtue. Now there's 2 other layers I want to get into, and those being the symptoms of insomnia and their MBTI personality types. So let's talk about insomnia first, because that is a scary thing. You know, you can die from sleep deprivation, right? Like, and not like a fun, you know, like Sleeping Beauty type death. No, you can get a heart attack if you don't sleep for a long time. It does a lot of things. It incurs memory loss, heart attacks, chemical imbalance, anxiety, depression, stuff like that. It ruins you, man. And I wanted to convey these through these characters, and I wanted to make sure my actors understood this. So I had to say that, I had to like highlight which symptoms of insomnia I wanted them to portray. So you'll have Ginger, whose main symptom is anxiety, or you'll have I'll skip Isa for now. Or you'll have Nat, whose symptom is reckless behavior. Your decision making is off because you haven't slept in a while. You need sleep in order to have your brain function properly. And then you have, let's say, Greer, who became highly irritable, and you'll see that they are an explosive character. They're character. They are all over the place. But yeah, insomnia is a scary thing to tackle, and I definitely had to do my research for it, because a lot of people think that insomnia is like, no, I choose not to sleep, and then you're just tired. But there is like a whole different feel to it when it starts getting into a medical issue. So I definitely wanted to tackle that, and I definitely wanted to tackle that through makeup. Yes, I did get a makeup artist for this short film as well. We will talk about that during production. It's a fun shoot. I'm looking forward to it. So yeah, now the third layer that I make these characters with was their MBTI personality types. Now I try to do this when I write a more human story. If you don't know what that is, it's basically humans, not generalizing, but like in our basis, in our core, we can be summed up to, not summed up, but like we can have a foundation of these 16 personality types. So for example, mine, get to know me a little better, is ENFP, the campaigner. So what ENFP means, each letter is like a different category, right? So for E, there's introverted and extroverted. I'm extroverted. N, there is intuitive and observant. I'm intuitive. F, feeling and thinking. I am more feeling. And then P, prospecting or judging. I am more prospecting. So extroverted, that people like to sum up extroverted for, like, you know, oh, you'd like to talk to people, but it's really like how, in my interpretation, how you charge up your social battery. Do you like talking to people, or do you like staying to yourself in order to recharge yourself? It also helps with like how having, you know, how easy it is to have an interpersonal conversation with another person, or how easy it is to reach another person. In intuitive, I like to take the first step before like observing the crowd. It could be to the detriment of myself, but I do that anyway, so I just have to navigate around that. F, feeling. I am more feeling than I am thinking. So I do think with my head, but I mostly think with my emotions first and then my brain. And then P, prospecting versus judging. Judging doesn't mean judgmental, it just means how you can make decisions. Prospecting is like, I want to do it all. I have an idea and I want to go for it. Well, judging is like, what's the practicality of that, right? So that's just me. That was a long-winded answer just to talk about myself, so you're welcome, guys. I hope you had fun listening to how my psychology works. But these characters, I knew I wanted them to be people, so I did my research for each of them, and I have their types for now. If you're a little personality nerd like me, you can see how these types are, how they interact, and they are Ginger, mediator; INFP, introverted, intuitive, feeling, prospecting. Mediator, they are like a very how do I say, they kind of are an internal character. They want the best in everyone. They hope for positivity, but they kind of escape inside their heads in order to face the harsh reality. And they're great for like expressing empathy to other people. Commander for Isa, ENTJ, they are extroverted and they're judging. Commander, it's not necessarily just, oh yeah, you do this, you do this, you do this. Yes, they can be like that. Again, personality types does not define who you are. It's just the basis of how your psychology works. ENTJ, but they also just like help people because they are approachable, and they seem like they have, you know, like a certain level of intelligence. How do I say, like, je ne sais quoi, right? But that's not for yeah, but not for charisma, but for like, yeah, they're capable, they can do this, I know they can do this. That's the commander. So people trust in them in order to tell them what to do, because obviously that's the best option. Advocate for Nat. Advocates like to fight for both sides. They understand both sides, so there is no wrong. Again, this is just how their mind works, so they immediately go for like what's really happening here rather than going for a biased take. They also try to well, I kind of just said it. They try to find other people's perspectives. Now, console is an interesting one. I'm not going to talk about that one, and you'll see why. Actually, all I'll say about console is that they try to give their all to help the people around them, because it directly helps them, not for the good of all, but because it helps them by making others around them feel better. That's why they do it, and that's all I'm going to say about that. And then Ezra, ISFJ, defender. They will sure, they'll defend their family to a fault, but they'll also like take the weight of everything themselves. Ezra will definitely, like, let's say they're in a group project, right, and nobody does the work. Ezra's like, yeah, it's fine. Suffering inside, they won't say anything to anyone. Yeah, I'm fine. And then because of that, when they eventually meet their limit, they have an explosive outburst. They have a break. And you will see that in the film. I'll count on that. Bet my bottom dollar, no Annie. And then North, I don't like working with protagonist types because it gets easy. You know what I mean? But North is a protagonist type. They definitely march to the beat of their own drum. They are charismatic, and people tend to fall for them. Not in love. They could be. Hey, maybe you could be a protagonist type. You don't even know. Maybe you're gonna fall in love, or maybe someone will fall in love with you. I cannot talk today, guys. But yeah. So yeah. And they are a peaceful character. That's how I wanted to play with North. They are not outgoing, like, hey, so this is the best idea, or hey, I'm going to be super charismatic. So no, they're very quiet for an extrovert. Again, extrovert and introvert isn't necessarily how quiet you are versus how loud you are, but it's more of how easy you can make a personal connection with another person, in my opinion, at least. Like, you know, maybe introverts take a little more time, but I guess I can't really confirm that because I didn't do my data research, but I believe that is the case. You can call me wrong in the comments. Finally, Greer, entrepreneur type. Now, the Greer is the type of person who like, yeah, I'm going to do this. I don't care what happens. I'm just going to do it. Again, you see how there's a P instead of a J. They are not judging. They just do it. They go for it. Entrepreneurs, what do you know them to do? Make their own business, right? They're going to talk to whoever they can, get the leg up so that they can prosper. But Greer, I knew I wanted to actually work with a good person, right? So Greer does this for the benefit of all. And you'll see that Greer is kind of a complex character. They're not just an entirely angry person. So yeah, I knew I wanted to deal with human people, and sure, they might seem archetypal, but the more you're listening to them, the more you realize that they're just like your average people. Even if they are dramatized by, I'll admit, quite a bit, they are like deep, nuanced characters that have their own trials and tribulations. And I hope that I can convey that properly in the film. Now, after the commercial break, we're going to talk more about how I wanted these characters to interact, and what's the stakes here, because we established that there are insomniacs that, you know, need sleep desperately, but I don't think I really like said the stakes or the opposing force that they are facing, because if there's all good people, then what's the conflict? So yeah, when we come back from commercial break, we'll break that down bit by bit, sip by sip. Got my cup over here, grab your cup, take a sippy sip, and hopefully, if you guys are ready for commercial break, if you can hear me, we will be right back. This camera. Oh, trick you. Yeah, there we go.
Being a successful woman in business means having the courage to own who you are. We understand the challenges faced by women, and we are here to help. Our team is here to develop the best strategy designed just for you. Your path is unique, and with the right tools, you can accomplish your dream. From radio to TV, from podcasting to magazines, we create the visibility to amplify your impact in business. At New Dawn Media, we are here to help bring your message forward and help your business flourish. It is time for your message to be seen and your voice to be heard. Contact us at 866-224-5422 or brooklyncafe.tv. Your voice can make a difference.
Welcome to AMP2 TV, the first and only internet production company that's truly plugged in. When you're looking for a full-service internet radio, TV production company, discover AMP2 TV. AMP2 TV is a full-service media company that can provide all streaming videos, video studios, radio studios, and television studios. Call us today at 866-224-5422, for no business is too small to grow to be accounted. It's time for your message to be seen. Let AMP2 TV help get you there.
Hope you grabbed some popcorn. Pitch2Production comes back in 5, 4, 3,
Hey, welcome back. All right, so last time we left off, we talked about these characters a little bit. We're getting to the sauce, we're getting to the drama, we're getting to the tea. Hey, yeah, that's the name of the film, Ginseng. What's up? Welcome back. Were you listening? I hope you were. So now what you see now, that's a casting call. You also see my name. Thank you very much. You see the casting call. Now you see how the casting call is huge? Yeah, that's the bit. You want to have actors see the casting call so they're like, hey, there's something going on here. Let me slide. What's popping? And believe it or not, if you post a paper that says casting call in random locations, and a lot of them, you get some responses. Isn't that crazy? So yeah, I definitely got actors to come through. This is what's important. So yeah, again, this is for production. So casting call, short film, say the name of the short film, psychological drama. I'll get more into the nitty gritty of why I chose the way to do this in the production episode. So come back that third week of April. Thank you very much. Also, happy Easter, y'all. Catch any eggs? Hope you did. Cook me some. So now we're going to talk about these characters a little bit. So I knew that when I gave that casting call, I brought up the casting call for this part now. I knew that when I brought up the casting call, I also wanted actors to have a more detailed description of the characters, not just that sentence. So you see, each character is a sentence. A paragraph. Whoops, sorry. So let's read, I don't want to read one that will spoil the story. So let's read Isa, right? So the idea of these are to convey the depth of a character. It's a monologue. You want to convey the depth in the psyche of the character in a few sentences, maybe like a paragraph, because if you keep rambling on like I'm doing right now, you may lose the point. So, Isa. Narrative voice. I'm an actor now. Actor. Isa is... No, I'm kidding. Isa keeps a disciplined composure with her back upright and hands forever folded. They have a trusting air about them that inspires others to retain their self-control. Despite being desperate from weeks without sleep... Oh, sorry, read that wrong. Despite being desperate from weeks without sleep. Perhaps the most strong-willed of all, they serve as a bastion that doesn't crack no matter what. However, it is important to remember that they are also human, and they can only endure so much for so long. So, now that you have that monologue, you have a deeper connection to Isa as a character. And if you do, great, because now you're in the actor's perspective. Now you're like, yeah, I can slide with this. Yeah, I can do this. Yeah, let me hit that. And some people did hit that, because the actors I got, man, I'm not even gonna say anything about that. So that, yeah, I knew that I wanted these in-depth descriptions for the characters so that the actors could portray them nicely. And now I will talk about this more on the production side, but you always want to make sure the actors have room for their own interpretation. If you do not, and you tell them exactly every single thing, their performance will be stilted and people will wonder, why does this feel inorganic? It's because you took away the person from the character. So I'll get more into that later. And you can call that tea. So I'm going to do this the whole month, by the way. So, yeah, now we're going to get into treatment. Now, because it is a psychological drama, I will not spoil anything. All I'm going to do is read Act 1. The point of a treatment, if you guys don't remember, it's been a while. Sorry, fam. Point of a treatment is so that everybody knows the sequence of order, so that the director knows what to direct, the actors know what the order of the story is, and the cinematographers know or have an idea of what shots they want to take. So yeah, we have Act 1. Establishing shot of the room, rotating around a cup of ginseng tea, showing the 7. Nameplates visible. I put a question mark. I decided not to do that. Shots of the table following gin, then sang in rapid succession. Title screen showing everyone. So yeah, that's basically a very shot-oriented thing. You don't necessarily have to do your shots in your treatments. But I did because I thought it was a cool idea. Why not? You know, let me flex on myself for a bit. Then Isa opens the conversation by reminding them to remain cordial when deciding who drinks the tea, despite days and weeks without sleep. Greer recommends everyone talk about themselves for 10 seconds and why they deserve the tea. Now we get the personalities of Isa and Greer. And now we understand also where the dialogue should be when we open up. Next line. Each person is offered a quick snapshot as to why they should deserve it, but it ends up being a session discussing why they don't deserve it. Salone agrees with everyone. When you're doing a treatment, right, you're highlighting what's the most important stuff so that we know in sequence what to shoot and what to highlight when we're shooting. So when I say Stallone agrees with everyone, that is important to know for the director and the cinematographers, for reasons that they know because they have the script. The audience might not know, and to be fair, the audience isn't even supposed to see the treatment. I'm just showing you guys because hopefully I inspire a filmmaker out there. Who knows? One can only wish, one can only dream upon a star. I am not sponsored by that song, so no copyright, please. So Greer gets frustrated and points out, I'm skipping ahead, by the way. Greer gets frustrated and points out that they're not going anywhere. North gets him to settle down and be patient. Stallone recommends hearing everyone out, then offers splitting the drink. So I decided to have Stallone not do that, and it is okay to deviate from the original treatment. It's completely okay, because what will happen when you have actors, and hopefully you are a nice director that gets input and actually take it, is that you have a better overall story. Because in my opinion, when you're directing and when you're a screenwriter, even if you're writing by yourself, it is a very collaborative writing experience. If you do not take other people's opinions to heart, I'm not going to say like, oh yeah, I don't like how he smells, so we should change that. Not like that, but like actual writing experience, because actors are writers too internally. They want to convey characters, so of course they have to be writers, right? Actors are writers, and if they have an idea, you should hear them out. Maybe you don't agree with it, but if you do, you get to have an enhanced story. It is a very collaborative experience, and I want to get that through for sure. Yeah, I'm not going to read the rest of this treatment because I'm going to say it again. Psychological drama. If I tell you everything, then you're not going to be surprised about something that happens and the thing that follows it. Yeah. So without saying anything, the overall story, I knew that I wanted it to be like, for the first 2 acts, I knew I wanted it to be like a reversal of the survive for yourself genre, like the Royale genre. But Act 3 is what I'm most excited for, because when something happens, or maybe nothing happens, but Act 3 is where the story needs to go. And I can't say more than that. Obviously the story needs to go where it needs to go in Act 3, but I can't say more than that until you see it. So I guess final notes would be Salvation Army, not sponsored, but they are the bomb. They're a heat. I was about to curse, did not do that. But yeah, they are the bomb, and I recommend them if you are a filmmaker trying to make a set for cheap. Because, thank you. I tell you what, I spent. Actually, you know what? I'll say this. This clock right here. Can I see that beast shot, please? This clock right here. How much do you think this was? Maybe like 40 bucks. This was $5. This was $5 in Salvation Army. And you see like these little things around here. This was like $1 for the plate. I spent $40 for like set stuff. There's a lot of stuff in Salvation Army depending on where you go. I will say that. And I was just going ham on it, not gonna lie. But yeah, Salvation Army for sure. Talk to your people for sure. Next week we're gonna talk about the script more. 14 pages. I'm excited to go into it. So yeah. Make sure to tune in next week so I talk about how I approached the script and what I wanted to convey through the script with the actors and with the characters. They're different people. I want to get that out there. They are different people. If you're a director, do not treat your characters and actors the same. They're not. That's weird. But yeah, tune in next week so I can talk about the script. And I promise you, for this month, I will be on the show. So do not think I am disappearing. And if I do, please call the cops. Thank you very much for coming in, and I'll see you next week. And as I like to end it, that's a wrap.
And we're out. You've been watching Pitch2Production. Join in next week as we keep the ball rolling and the ideas flowing.